Mickey Mouse is at it again. Just a few weeks ago, Disney-owned National Geographic gave us the documentary Fauci, a puff piece meant to resurrect the career of a guy who's been wrong pretty much about everything. Now, Disney-owned Hulu has another supervillain they're trying to fit into the glass slipper, Christopher Steele, author of the dirty and very discredited dossier. The former spy sat down with George Stephanopoulos for a new documentary series and is being portrayed as a hero for taking on Trump and Putin.
Christopher Steele is an enigma. Is he hero? Is he traitor?
Christopher Steele is a guy who picked a fight with two presidents, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, and he's lived to tell the tale.
When you bring the information to the FBI in 2016, were you acting as a patriot or a paid private intelligence officer? I mean, this is the stuff of movies.
I think a lot of this is the stuff of movies.
I wonder whose reputation they're going to try to repair next. Andrew Cuomo? Bill Cosby? OJ? Let's ask Congressman Devin Nunes of California. So, yeah, this is Disney-owned. They hate Trump. This is Stephanopoulos. He's a Clinton flack at ABC. And they're just trying to make this guy look better, who's in all reality a total scoundrel.
Well, Jesse, I would say that this is even far beyond where I'd expect him to go, because anybody, if you do a little bit of research, so I don't know what Stephanopoulos did, but in our investigation that we did, we actually found that Steele probably didn't even write these dossiers, number one, because there was a set of pre-dossiers that essentially had some of the same stories. Now, did Steele develop the infamous PP tape that everybody talks about that's actually in that promo, which is outlandish? We don't know if they're going to ask the right questions or not. But just remember this. When we tried to reach out to Steele's lawyers, when I say we, Republicans on the Intelligence Committee, when we were doing our investigation, still the only real investigation, we're all waiting on Durham, we reached out. He didn't want to talk. The fact that he's now talking now, taking credit for something that's been completely discredited and laughed at, that, all the people in the intelligence world that were looking at this in 2016 should have known that this was just a fraud. It didn't even look like a real intelligence report. So it's an embarrassment to Disney. It's an embarrassment to Hulu. It's an embarrassment to the British government and MI6 that this guy ever worked for them. And look, there's probably more to come. I'm sure it will be quite a comical and entertaining movie.
I don't think they're embarrassed at all. For them, this is legacy repair. This is putting a historical record down digitally to cover up all the dirty deeds that these guys did. So this is, in 50 years, 75 years, you look back at who is Christopher Steele, and Christopher Steele is going to look like a good guy. He's going to look like a guy that took on Trump and, not the real dirtbag that he actually is. And when you have the power of a Hulu with Disney backing and a polished chin Stephanopoulos sitting there stroking himself, it legitimizes someone like this, who in any sane world would be seen as one of the dirtiest international scoundrels in the last, couple decades politically. And speaking of scoundrels, I'm glad I referenced that. McCabe, your good buddy over at the DOJ. Remember, he got fired for lying and leaking. Mm-hmm. Not anymore. He's got everything back. He's going to get his pension back. The Biden DOJ just cut a nice deal. He's going to get some cufflinks back that were given to him. He's going to have his plaque back at the Department of Justice. And they're going to scrub any mention that he was fired from the FBI.
Yeah, look, this is what we expect from Biden's DOJ. I think it was a given that they were going to do this. But that doesn't mean, to your point, Disney can do what they want to do. The Biden DOJ can let people off if they would like. Durham is still out there. And a lot of the future of this country really depends on, for the Department of Justice and the FBI to have any support amongst conservatives or half of this country is going to really depend on who Durham indicts. And I think that's what a lot of us are waiting for. It appears like he's moving in the right direction. And hopefully he gets to finish his investigation so we can put closure to this. But in big picture, I agree with you. That's part of where we are in this world right now. You've got basically reality and then an alternative reality that's created by the left. And it's what we deal with every day. Yeah,
Durham better hurry up. And a lot of pressure on that guy. I'm so happy for McCabe to get his cufflinks back. They must be very nice cufflinks. High-class problems, probably. when you can't have your cufflinks. I'll see you later, Congressman.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.